going to try a second time to see if we can get the technology to work today. It's been a bit kind of difficult today, the technology, but let's see how we get on this time. Welcome again to our Lunchtime Live. This is a Leeds By Example Lunchtime Live, so it's a little bit different, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. I'm really pleased that we've got Sam Leather from local business Dabble, who is joining us today to chat about his business. But so welcome, Sam, and thank you for joining us. First of all, I just want to give you a bit of background to how these Lunchtime Lives are a little bit different, in that you may remember that we've been working on a project called Leeds By Example, so a project led by environmental charity Hubbub, and with Leeds City Council involvement, then we've been a local partner. And it was basically about helping, making it easier for people to recycle whilst they were out and about in the city centre. And hopefully if you've been in the city centre anytime over the last couple of years, you'll have seen kind of 80 recycling bins in the city centre, orange for coffee cups and yellow for plastic and cans. And basically we were, just as lockdown hit, we were about to start a new piece of work to basically work with local businesses to promote the scheme and to talk about sustainability. And then obviously we haven't been able to do that because of lockdown. So we're doing various things, mostly online. And one of them is a series of chats with people who are leading by example in the way that they do business. And that's why we're kind of here today. So we'll see how we get on with the technology. If it's not working, we may have to kind of postpone this and come back to it, but let's see how we get on for a couple of minutes at least. So so Sam, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. And sorry about the problems with the technology so far.
It's okay, it's a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So, I mean, first of all, would you mind just telling us a little bit about you and then how you came to set up Dabble?
Yeah, so I am a cyclist first and foremost. So I think I was probably looking for businesses involving bikes that I could start or be involved in. I volunteer at the sustainability department at Leeds Uni in the bike shop, fixing bikes for students. So that kind of got me into cycling and Leeds cycling, I guess, in general. And then the idea came about really through going to visit my friend who lives in Amsterdam, probably annually, really, seeing how much of a influence bikes have on lifestyle out there and kind of wanting to bring a bit of that back to Leeds. I was always fascinated by cargo bikes. I thought they seemed like a great idea. I always wanted to have a go on one. And I guess it was kind of basically working out how I could get cargo bikes into Leeds.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and so tell us a bit about how Dabble works then and the service that you offer.
So we basically kind of have a website which has lots of different local shops and producers on. So within our website, you can shop at multiple different shops and have those delivered in one delivery. So it's kind of trying to bring the convenience of online supermarket shopping to your local high street.
Very good. And at the moment, you're mainly focused on Chapel Allerton, is that right?
Yeah. So I live in Chapel Allerton. My girlfriend was born and bred here, so that's where our house is now. So it's kind of like it made sense to start with Chapel Allerton because I knew the shops, already had some relationships with the shopkeepers. I know a lot of the geography as well. So yeah. So at the moment, we're focused on about 2 square kilometers around Chapel Allerton, and most of our high street shops are in Chapel Allerton. Then we've got different producers, people like North Star Coffee and Leeds Bread Corp from across the city as well.
Yeah, very good. Because I suppose that's the other angle to the business that I find quite interesting, in that you've quite deliberately gone for local small businesses, and you're almost giving them another opportunity to sell to more people.
Yeah, definitely. For us, it makes sense to kind of like look what's around you in the first instance and trying to source things as local as possible. I think it's all too easy just to hop on the internet and kind of just shop blind and not even really think about where the stuff's coming from when there's people selling exactly the same kind of stuff located near where you live.
No, good. And I mean, I was fascinated by the fact that, I mean, you basically kind of started up in the first week we went into lockdown. Is that or just it was around then? Was that right?
Yes, we basically had a quite a late pivot. It was kind of pub chat that slowly was building momentum since about last summer. And my business partner's an app developer, so we were building a very fancy app, which was probably too fancy for what we needed really. And about 2 weeks before we went down into lockdown, we were looking at what was happening over in Italy and places like that, and thinking there's going to be a big surge in home delivery demand. So we kind of decided just to shelf the app and just move straight across to a website. Pushed out the website in about 48 hours and got going basically.
Yeah, very good. And how has it been like running a startup in, quite a difficult kind of period for us all, really?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been a steep learning curve. We kind of always imagined that we would have a very slow organic build up, and that we would make mistakes on just probably one customer, two customers, and it would be a very limited people who we touched to begin with. That obviously went to capacity after pretty much 2 weeks of going. So there's a steep learning curve in that, but ultimately everything went quite smoothly, as we're not trying to do anything particularly hard. We're just using a bike to do local delivery. So it's gone as smoothly as expected, as smoothly as we could hope, I say.
Oh, that's good. And as you say, things are kind of settling a little bit for you now. So you can, some of the things that you didn't have time to get 100% right straight away, you can get those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we kind of feel like we've definitely gone over the peak, and now we're kind of settling down. We've got a good core group of customers, and now it's kind of like looking to organically and sustainably grow in the long term.
Yeah, good. And you're still kind of very early stages as a business, but when you're saying about growing, how do you see things hopefully kind of growing for you?
So we kind of want to be so that we're known as, I guess, eco-friendly delivery across Leeds. So we want to get into more suburbs, which we're going to do relatively shortly. Go into places which probably don't have as good a high street as Chapel Island, if that makes sense. Like right now, we're delivering to people who have access to these shops. We kind of want to spread that out and go a bit further afield, and get into some further afield places, and eventually do the whole of Leeds.
Yeah, fantastic. And I mean, anyone who knows me knows I'm pretty I'm a fanatic about anything to do with bikes. So I'm always pleased to see a business setting up using bikes. But I'm kind of interested in how you see the bigger potential for deliveries by bikes, because obviously loads of us, and we get a lot more deliveries over the last 3 months. If you look at statistics around traffic growth, a lot of that is about kind of vans for delivering to people at home. I mean, do you think that there is much bigger potential for delivery by bike and electric bike?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think so. What we've done in so we've been operating for just under 3 months now, I think, and we've cycled 2,000 kilometers and done just over 1,000 deliveries.
Okay. So yeah, that's quite a short. There's a lot of short journeys there then.
Yeah, so they work best with about 2 square kilometers, and it's kind of like densely populated areas, aka the suburbs, which work quite well. Obviously, if you're going out to the countryside, it's not going to work that well, because you only make money for a completed delivery, not for the cycling, if that makes sense. So as close as you can get deliveries as possible, I think is the ideal solution. And I think there's this thing with bike delivery, it's about the last mile. I think you're always going to struggle to get the goods into the city without using a van or a large lorry, for example. But it's kind of, I think, where they work best and where they will eventually be utilized is doing those last short deliveries, because they don't increase congestion, and it can get down gaps which necessarily cars can't go down or vans can't go down. So they kind of like
access at different times of day, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And they're great in residential areas because they produce no noise. So they're really, really handy, I think, and definitely suited towards either dense city centres or in the suburbs of cities. I think there's definitely potential. I mean, if you think about what you get delivered, there's probably not that many big parcels. Ours can hold about the same capacity as a Ford Focus boot.
Okay.
And 100 kilos, so you can get plenty on them. And people are making more adaptable ones and bigger ones, and using the space more cleverly as well. So it's only going to develop further and get
because you often see. I follow these kind of things on Twitter, and you see people in in Denmark or Holland, taking a sofa on the front of a cargo bike, kind of thing from IKEA or something. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of potential. I mean, because I think there are some other kind of cargo bike businesses in Leeds as well. And the Last Mile Leeds, I think, do a lot of
Last Mile Leeds in the city centre. Yeah. He's been going since just after the Olympics, I think, so a long time now.
Yeah, I think they were. I think that's right, isn't it? That their bikes were they ice cream bikes from the Olympics or something?
Yeah, pretty sure they were. Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of potential kind of in this. I know from the city council's point of view as well, they're kind of interested to see, both potential for cargo bikes, but also more generally kind of electric bikes as well. To kind of get more people. So, because are your bikes, are they electric or are they?
Yeah, so they are electric. Yeah, I think we would struggle with some of the hills if they weren't electric.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of electric bikes as well. I think they get. I do quite a bit of cycle touring, and you see people touring nowadays who just wouldn't be touring without an electric bike.
Yeah. So, I think they're a game changer, aren't they? I reviewed one for Edinburgh Bikes in Chapel Allerton in January.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they're fantastic kind of thing. So
yeah, they're great for when you can't be bothered to cycle.
Yeah. As you say, still put a bit of effort in, but not quite so much.
Exactly.
Good. So in terms of if anyone's interested in becoming a customer of yours, so at the moment, I mean, we'll put all the details of your website and things below this post, but currently focused on the kind of Chapel Allerton area, but looking to expand to other areas quite soon.
Yeah, so we're about two square kilometres around Chapel Allerton, and we'll be going into Roundhay, Meanwood, hopefully Headingley and Horsforth in the coming months.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And will you be looking to increase your range of suppliers? Basically, you go to an area, you look to engage some more local shops and that type of thing. So
yeah, we want to keep going until you can anything that's made in Leeds basically will deliver.
Yeah, fantastic. Good. Oh, it's been really interesting to chat to you, and thank you for sticking with us with the technical troubles that we had at the start. But thank you for joining us today, Sam, and thank you to people who've joined us for the chat today. As I said, we'll put all the information below this post, and we'll write a little kind of post as well to make sure that you know about Sam's business, Dabble. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll chat again soon.
Cool. Thank you. Cheers.
Right, thanks, Sam. See you.